Hi everybody, this is Corrine Forrest, and this week I want to talk to you about 6 ways to deal with critical people. So everybody, or at least most people, are open to constructive criticism. You know, that kind of criticism that points out a typo in your presentation, but the person still, is listening and gets the message of the communication, that kind of thing. But most people also know somebody in their life who is relentlessly negative. No matter what kind of news if you tell them that you've got a promotion and you're all excited, they're going to tell you that you're going to get burnt out. Or if you're all excited and talking about your new baby, they're going to tell you about the sleepless nights, the endless worry, and the cost of college. So how do we deal with those relentlessly negative people in our life? So this week I have 6 suggestions for that. So the first one is to not take it personally. Chances are it's them and not you, and that they do it to everyone that they meet. Now, I know I've talked about this before, but our human brain is hardwired to have something called negativity bias. And this means that we see the potential danger in everything. It kept us alive. If I didn't know if this plant was poisonous or not, it was safer for me to assume it was and to not eat it. If a person was approaching me and I didn't know who they were, it was safer for me to assume that they wanted to kill me and to behave accordingly. So this negativity bias is hardwired in all of us. So we have to evolve as humans past that negativity bias. Now, a lot of people are on that journey, and some people are further along in that journey than other people. So we just have to recognize that maybe somebody hasn't quite grown past that negativity bias that's already part of their brain. Tip number 2 is listen to the message. Just because it's a bad delivery, they're tactless or maybe overly blunt, doesn't mean that it was a bad message. In fact, there's a personality type who really is into competence, and they think that they're actually helping people when they point out flaws in their thinking or mistakes that have been made. But what I find interesting is those same people appreciate competence in themselves. And so if you're thinking to give them a little taste of their own medicine, see how he likes it if I'm all critical, they might not like it as much because that is attacking them personally and their competence. So beware of that. Tip number 3 is just accept the feedback. So many times I hear, it's not what they said, it's how they said it. Well, maybe for our mental health, sometimes with some people, we just need to look at what they said, not the how. Just accept the kernel of advice that's there and move on. All right, tip number 4 is dealing with the discomfort. Nobody likes to be criticized or have somebody point out flaws in either what they're doing or what they're thinking. So we get very uncomfortable by that. But maybe it would be helpful to sit with that discomfort for a minute and find out what it's triggering in you. Now, I'm not one to sign up for sitting in discomfort. Life is hard enough without sitting in discomfort. But if we want to learn and grow, sometimes we have to. And a lot of times maybe it's something that we always thought about ourselves and we thought we were hiding it, and then somebody points it out and that's triggering us. Or sometimes we thought we had conquered, let's call it a little idiosyncrasy in the past, and it rears its ugly head and you're like, ah! And that's why you're so uncomfortable, is because you're kind of almost mad at yourself. So it's worth digging in. If you're feeling really uncomfortable, it's worth digging in a little bit and seeing what's going on underneath the hood there. 5th tip, if you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. If you know somebody is hypercritical or just a negative person, don't ask them for advice. Don't share your good news with them if you know they're going to throw a bucket of cold water on them. Don't seek praise from them if you know you're not going to get it from them. So it's almost like know thy person here, and engage with them in the ways that are appropriate, but don't go looking for something from them that you know that they can't give you. And my sixth and final tip is to just sometimes stay out of their way. Some people are so negative that you just can't deal with them, or maybe your resilience is low on that day due to some other things going on. And maybe it's just that person is not worth the real estate in your head, and avoid them. So those are my 6 ways to deal with critical people. And so I will leave you with this from the lighter side. It says, I used to be a people person, but then people ruined that for me. So with that, I will leave you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.